Our next topic is the general management of ineffective labor. So again, if we talk about ineffective labor, we are referring to the hypotonic, hypertonic conditions, or hypertonic or hypotonic uterine contractions, uncoordinated uterine contractions that leads into prolonged labor either during the first stage or second stage of labor. So kadalasan, we will almost so most of the time, this management in patient with prolonged labor and also the ineffective uterine contraction focuses on the making the cervix ripen or dapat magkaroon ng effacement. Then kailangan magbigay tayo ng augmentation or induction. Then a possibility of doing amniotomy if possible. So pag-usapan natin yon. Number 1, na ginagawa natin as general intervention for ineffective labor para mas mapabilis ang process of labor ay yung tinatawag nating cervical ripening. Cervical ripening. Of course, your cervical ripening is done in cases, if in case that the cervix is not yet effaced or not yet ripe. So ibig sabihin, we have to change the consistency of the cervix from firm to soft. Okay? Change consistency. Change consistency from firm to soft. From firm to soft. And this is commonly done as the first step to complete in early labor. Take note that labor will not proceed if the cervix is not yet ripe or wala pa tayong tawag na cervical effacement. Clear? Now, there are cervical criteria. There are cervical criteria na ginagawa natin for scoring. Scoring if the cervix is ready for ripening or yung tinatawag nating elective induction. Okay? Sa criteria for scoring for elective induction. Ibig sabihin, there is a certain score that we have to meet before we use your manual method of ripening the cervix. Take note that cervix will ripe even without the interventions of a health worker. So kusa po siyang nagra-ripen, kusa po siyang lumilipis, kusa siyang nag-i-efface at the end of the process. However, in some cases, pag hindi nangyayari yon, there are criteria that we need to follow before we do the manual ripening of the cervix. Pag-usapan natin yon. First criteria is dilatation. So this one, we are referring to dilatation of your what? Cervix. Score natin dyan. 0, 1, 2, 3. I-scorean po natin siya. 0, 1, 2, 3. Pag 0 cm, ang score niya is 0. Ibig sabihin, no cervical dilatation, ang score niya is 0. Pag 1 to 2 cm, score is 1. Pag 3 to 4 cm, score is 2. Pag 3 to 4 cm and above, score niya is 3. Will tayo? Yes, number 2. What is the next criteria? Effacement. Ito ba yung cervical thinning? Yes, cervical thinning. Kapag ang cervical thinning is 0 to 30. 0 to 30%. Kasi pinipercentage natin ito. Ito naman, 40 to 50%. And this one is 60 to 70%. Then over 80% naman is 3. Station. Naalala niyo pa kung paano yung stationing? So kapag sinabing with inside the pelvic inlet, the station is negative. Outside or pass through the ischial spine, ano nang tawag doon? Positive stationing. At the level of the ischial spine is 0. So for example, if this is your ischial spine, this is the pelvic inlet, that's -1, -2, -3. Then this is your 0, station 0. Then we have 1, 2, 3. So yung 2 and 3, yan na po yung crowning. Am I right? Yes. Yung nakikita mo na yung ulo niya sa kanyang vagina mismo. Okay? Now, stationing natin kapag -3, 0. -2, 1. -1 to 0 is still +1 and 2 is 3. +1 and 2 is 3. Number 4 criteria, consistency. Consistency. Pag ang consistency is firm, ano yung firm? Tip of the nose. Nalala nyo ito? Kung nandun kayo sa akin, ang EIN sila censored, ano ko yan? Tip of the nose. You try to pick the tip of the nose. That is the normal consistency of cervix na hindi pa ripen. Pero pag ripen na, your earlobe. Okay? Your earlobe. So firm. Next, medium. Ano yan? Medium rare. Am I right? Soft. Okay. So pag medium, soft. Okay? Pag more than that, okay, the softest na siguro, okay, malamang polyphase na yung 3. And number 5, okay, position. Kailangan i-consider din natin sa position. Pag posterior, nalala nyo ito, posterior. Pag sinabi posterior, batok ang mauna. Pwede ba yun? Naka-flex yung ulo ng baby. Hindi pwede, am I right? Yes, mid position. Mid position, then anterior. Anterior. So that is your scoring. Ngayon, according sa ating pelvic examination by Bishop, kapag ang cervix daw scores more than 8, okay? If the criteria, okay, note, a score of more than 8, proceed with induction. Kapag ang score niya is more than 8, proceed with induction. Proceed with induction. Pag lagpas ng 8 ang kanyang score. Maliwanag po tayo? Yes. Okay? Now, what are the steps, sir, or method of cervical rightening? The method of cervical rightening. Number 1, stripping membrane. Stripping. As in stripping. Ito ba yung ginagawa mo? Sinakakisan ka ng pera-pera? Stripping membrane. Ano naman ang stripping membrane? Separating. So this is separating the membranes. Separating the membranes from the lower segment. From the lower. Separating the membrane from the lower uterine segment. Separating the membrane from the lower uterine segment through internal examination. Parang ang gawin mo sa kanya, i-IE mo. Okay, then ipupush mo slightly yung uterus para yung membrane sa uterus mag-separate from one another. However, may possible complication yan. Possible complication. So what are the possible complication? Pwede bang magdugo? Yes, especially kapag meron tayong placenta previa. So possible complication is bleeding from undetected placenta previa. Bleeding from undetected placenta previa. Number 2, rupture of membranes. Of course, unintentional to. Unintentional rupture of membranes. Akala mo kasi cervix, yun pala, biglang iotirus, yun pala kung magpapasok sa cervix, natusok mo yung amniotic sac. So, pumutok. Okay? So, rupture of the amniotic membranes. Number 3, infection. So, pag pumutok si membrane, possible na bang mag-improve for infection? Yes, risk for infection ng ating pasyente. Okay? Number 2, use of hygroscopic suppositories. Pag sinabing suppositories, alam niyo naman na ito, isn't it? Medications that will be placed inside the vagina or the rectum. Basta directly na pinapasok on that particular area. So ano naman po ang hygroscopic suppositories? Hygro. That's R-O-S. Hygroscopic suppositories. So hygroscopic suppositories is use of seaweed. Yes, the use of seaweed. That swell. The use of seaweed that swell on contact with cervical secretions. So para sa yung seaweed na kinakain nyo. But this one, it's dry talaga. Parang ganun din. Dry seaweed. So the dry seaweed is without moisture. So gagawin nun, the seaweed dry seaweed will absorb the moisture, which is the secretions. So kapag ginawa natin yon, ano ang gagawin natin doon? Ano ang mangyayari? Magkakaroon siya ng what? It leads into gradual. It leads into gradual and gentle or gently urge to dilate. Gradual and gently urge to dilatation. Urge to dilatation. Gently urge dilatation. Okay? Next, pag sinabi natin use of hygroscopic suppositories, it is placed wrap with gauze. It is placed wrap with gauze. Wrap. W-R-A-P. Wrap. Balot. Nabalot. Yung seaweed, babalutin lang. Yan. Na inyong gauze saturated with Providon iodine or antifungal cream. Or antifungal cream. Question, sir, bakit kailangan ng Providon iodine or antifungal cream? Pwede bang ikaw nag-introduce ng infection? Yes. Kasi yung dried seaweeds na yon, or that seaweeds was actually what? Possible din na mag-collect ng bacteria or even fungi. Pag naglagay ng fungi sa pepe ni mother, pwede mag-develop ng candidiasis. Pag mga Providon iodine naman, okay, mga bacteria, kaya man nilagay mo ito to protect. Okay, as a form of antiseptic solution. Okay, as a form of antiseptic solution. Document mo dapat yung sponges and dilators. Place documents, sponges, and dilator plates. Nakakita na kayo ng dilator. Ang dilator, ginagamit natin ito lalo na sa mga pasyente na possible magkaroon ng shrinking or hypertrophy or dystrophy of the muscle cell, lalo sa mga procedures like radiation. Ang mga babae na nag-undergo ng radiation therapy, pwede magkaroon ng vaginal atrophy. Ibig sabihin, magiging masikip yung kanilang vagina. So magiging masikip, lower tendency, ang hirap na rin, of course, it would affect sexual intercourse. So for that not to happen, after the procedure, gumagamit sila ng different sizes of dilators. So ang ginagawa nila, mag-start sila with the smallest or thinnest. Then habang tumatagal, pinapakapal, ng pinapakapal, ng pinapakapal. Until bumalik na yung stretchability ng vagina. Okay, ginagamit yan. Pag-aaralan nyo yan pagdating nyo sa medical surgical nursing onco or cancer nursing. Okay? Kapag ang pasyente nag-undergo ng radiation therapy. Okay? Pag-aaralan nyo po yan. Okay? So that is your use of hygroscopic suppositories. Okay? Ito naman yung pinaka-common, number 3. This is the most common na ginagamit. The use of prostaglandin gel. Pag sinabi natin use of prostaglandin gel, ano example nito? M. Misoprostol. Or commonly, or layman's cyto. Check. Yan. Misoprostol or your cyto. Check. So this is the most common method. This is the most common method na ginagamit for cervical ripening. Okay? Most common method for cervical ripening. So ina-apply siya 2 to 3 times with 6 hours interval. Ginagawa siya 2 to 3 times with 6 hours interval. Okay? So during this procedure, you have to position patient inside lying. Sir, bakit kailangan naka-side lying ang pasyente? This is a gel. Parang lubricant. So pag hindi mo siya sinide lying at naka-supine position lang siya, magli-leak outside. So yung nasa loob na gamot, ilalabas na lang din. Okay? So imagine parang naglalaway si Kitty. Naglalaway siya ng prostaglandin gel. And dapat yung prostaglandin gel na yun, nasa loob lang. Okay? So dapat position the patient on side lying position. Then after that, monitor for, so ano ba yung goal natin dito? Mag-open ang cervix, mag-efface ang cervix. Pag nag-efface, mag-open na siya. So possible ba na magkaroon ng adverse effects or reactions? Yes, baka biglaan ng pagbukas, pwedeng magkaroon ng what? Problems with the fetus. Kaya monitor for FHR, okay? At least 30 minutes. At least 30 minutes every after application. Every after application. Monitor for 30 minutes every after application. Are we clear? Maliwanag po? Yes. Tapos na tayo sa cervical ripening. Punta naman tayo sa number 2. Induction of labor. Pag sinabing induction of labor, initiates contraction. Ibig sabihin ng induction of labor is that hindi pa siya nagle-labor, pero due niya na. Or kailangan niya ng manganak because of certain complication. So ang gawin natin, i-trigger natin na siya ay mag-labor by inducting the labor. Iba po siya sa augmentation. Augmentation, patient is already in labor. Para mas mabilis lang ang labor, nag-augment tayo ng mga ways on how to faster the labor. Induction of labor, wala pang labor na nangyayari. So ano gagawin natin? Manually or artificially, we would start the labor process. Yun po ang ibig sabihin ng induction of labor. So basically, you're going to initiate contraction sa mga pasyente na on full term. Mother. Kailangan mo ba full term na? Yes, you do not induce labor kapag ang baby is preterm. At least ideally. Unless there is a possible complication that makes you use induction of labor. Okay? So paano tayo nag-induce ng labor? Induction of labor starts 6 to 12 hours after prostaglandin gel application. Meaning, do we need to ripen the cervix before we induce labor? Yes, because without ripening the cervix, magkakaroon ba ng cervical dilatation? No. Kaya meron magkaroon ng prolonged labor. Ang prolonged labor is complication na ngayon. Yes. Okay, it's already a complication. So, how are we going to do this? Administer oxytocin. Administer oxytocin intravenous. Administer oxytocin intravenously. Administer oxytocin intravenously. Okay? Sir, ano ang rationale kung bakit IV natin ito binibigay? Okay, oxytocin, pag-aralan natin ito. Oxytocin, or commonly known as pitocin, is a uterotonics. Ibig sabihin, it promotes uterine contraction. Ang half-life, pag sinabing half-life, the medication starts to wear off. Ibig sabihin, pag na-receive niya na ang peak, kasunod na nun is half-life. Nalala niyo ba yun? Okay, yung basic pharmacology. Di ba? Pag nagbigay ka ng gamot, meron yung initial effect, then magpunta tayo sa peak effect, then after ng half-life, ibig sabihin ng half-life, after ng peak, yung gamot, start na siyang bababa ang effect. Half-life. Ang half-life po ng oxytocin is just 3 minutes. Ibig sabihin, once you give oxytocin, spike agad yan. Then after giving that initial dose, depende kung gaano karami, the-downside agad yan after 3 minutes. So ibig sabihin, the reason kung bakit nagbibigay tayo ng IV oxytocin is to prevent yung tinatawag nating hyperstimulation. Why, sir? Kasi kung IV mo siya binibigay, mas madali din bang i-stop? Yes. Pag i-stop mo na siya, automatic, the effects would also go down. Kasi the level of insulin is also going down instantly. Mabilis ang epekto. Mabilis siya na-consume, at the same time, mabilis din mauubos. So pag in-stop mo agad ang insulin administration, stop na rin ang pagtaas ng level ng insulin, stop na rin ang effect niya, which is your uterine contraction. Kailan mo ginagawa yun, sir? If there is possible hyperstimulation. Ulitin natin. We are giving IV administration of oxytocin for one reason. Number one, to discontinue it immediately. To discontinue it immediately if hyperstimulation occurs. To discontinue it immediately if hyperstimulation occurs. Ibig sabihin, pag nagkaroon tayo ng hyperstimulation, stop mo na agad. Kasi pag i-stop mo, babagat ang insulin level, mawawala agad ang effect. Kasi ang kanyang half-life is only 3 minutes. So whatever thing na in-inject mo sa katawan, ubos yan or maubos yan in a period of 3 minutes onwards na. Clear? Are we clear? Yes, very important po yan na alam nyo kasi nga, okay, ang oxytocin is a common medication sa inyong DR. Now, pag sinabi natin oxytocin, as I mentioned, approximately 3 minutes ang kanyang half-life. It is done through piggyback. Piggyback. Pag sinabi natin piggyback mga kapatid, piggyback with our Rangers solution. Piggyback with Rangers solution. Ano po ibig sabihin yan? Okay, piggyback with Rangers solution. Ini-incorporate po natin sa LRS. Okay tayo? Yes. Okay? So, what is the regular infusion? Regular infusion natin. Regular infusion is 0.5 to 1 in unit per minute. 0.5 to 1 unit per minute. Then gradually increase. Gradually increase. Gradually increase alin? 1 to 2 units. 1 to 2 units with interval of 15 to 60 minutes. 15 to 60 minutes. With interval of 15 to 60 minutes. Ulitin po natin yan. Okay? So, ang initial dose po natin is 15.5, should I say? 0.5 to 1 unit per minute. Then gradually increase about 1 to 2 units with interval of 15 to 60. Okay? With interval of 15 to 60. Now, after 15 minutes, pag hindi pa ganun kataas ang contraction, then you can give another dose in 15 minutes. Yun pong ibig sabihin nun. But if the contraction is enough, then you can make the interval 60 minutes. Okay, this is to prevent hyperstimulation. Then, at 4 cm, very important po ito, at 4 cm, artificial. At 4 cm, artificial rupture of membrane. Artificial rupture of membrane is performed. Ibig sabihin, kapag ang cervical dilatation umabot na po ng 4 cm, mag-rupture of membrane na po tayo. Ano ulit yung artificial rupture of membrane? Amniotomy. And stop infusion. And stop infusion. You may now discontinue the infusion. Okay, next, side effects. Makinig na maigi sa side effect because this side effect is not only true sa ating induction of labor, but it's also true sa augmentation of labor. Ibig sabihin, basta gumagamit ka ng oxytocin, possible complication ng mga ito. Kaya dapat mong i-assess. This is also one of the main reasons kung bakit hindi advisable na magbigay ng oxytocin prior to delivery of the fetus. Kaya kailan na binibigay yung oxytocin natin? On the third stage of labor, third stage of labor, which is your placenta stage. Tama ba? Yes, when the baby is already out, magbibigay ka ng oxytocin 10 units IM. Tama ba? Yes. Yun dapat ang original na pagbibigay lang. Ideally, dapat hindi siya binibigay prior unless there is problem with the labor process. Pero kung gusto rin madaliin, pwede mo siyang ibigay as augmentation. However, it is what? Not advisable because of this following complication. Ano yung mga complication na yan, sir? Number 1, hypertonic contraction. So, pwede tayo magkaroon ng hypertonic contraction. Pag sinabing hypertonic contraction, it can lead to hyperstimulation. So, hypertonic contraction is due to hyperstimulation related to prolonged oxytocin use. Hyperstimulation related to prolonged oxytocin use. So pag sinabing hyperstimulation, hypercontraction, nagko-contract ba ng frequent? Yes, nagko-contract ba ng strong? If that's the case, what will happen to the blood vessel? Dilate or constrict? What will happen to the blood vessel kapag too much contractions tayo? What will happen to the blood vessel? Anong contraction? Kino-compress niya, nire-relax? Compress, tama ba? So hypertonic contraction, it compresses the uterus kasi contracted. Pag contracted si uterus, what will happen to the blood vessels inside? Constrict or dilate? Kasi iniipit. In that case, makaka-receive ba si baby ng inyong oxygen? Pag hindi naka-receive si baby ng oxygen, what will happen? Fetal distress may lead to fetal death. Tama ba? Yes, can lead to fetal death. And take note, hyperstimulation due to prolonged use of oxytocin can also lead to uterine rupture. Pwede pong mapunit si uterus. Pwede pong mapunit si uterus. Now, what is the management? Management natin kapag nagkaroon ng hypertonic contractions. Anong gusto natin? I-relax or i-stimulate si uterus? I-relax. Magbibigay tayo ng beta adrenergics. Beta blockers. Beta adrenergic receptor drugs. Ano mga example ng beta adrenergic receptor drugs? Letter T. Terbutaline. And magnesium sulfate. And magnesium sulfate. So terbutaline and magnesium sulfate. Terbutaline and magnesium sulfate. Ano ang effect ng mga gamot na ito? It decreases myometrial activity. Ilagay mo dyan. It decreases myometrial activity. It decreases the myometrial activity. Ulitin natin. Possible complication ng induction of labor due to use of oxytocin. Pwede mo magkaroon ng hyperstimulation. Yes. Yung hyperstimulation na yan, pwede mo mag-lead into hypertonic contraction. Yes. Ano gagawin niyo sa blood vessel? Constrict or dilate? Constrict. Mababawasan ba ang oxygen delivery sa fetus? Yes. Mag-lead din sa fetal? Yes. Tama mo ba? Yes. Then pwede mo magkaroon ng uterine rupture? Yes. Because of the strong compression. Okay? Pwedeng bumigay yung kanila myometrium. Okay? Para ibaba ang contractility ng inyong mattress, magbibigay tayo ng beta-adrenergic receptor drug. What are those? Terbutaline and magnesium sulfate. Anong effect? Increase myometrial activity. So again, that is just one of the complication ng prolonged use of oxytocin or pag sumobra. Number two, ilagay mo po dyan, hypotension. Sir, bakit naman po hypotension, sir? Hypotension plus tachycardia. Hypotension plus tachycardia. So, hypotension occurs due to peripheral vessel vasodilation. Due to peripheral vessel vasodilation. Peripheral vessel. Pag sinabing vessel, alam mo yan, ugat. Peripheral means distant from the body, extremities. So, dito mo ba kinukuha ang blood pressure mo? Yes. And take note, ano nangyayari daw? Dilation. So, lumuluwang ang daanan ng dugo. Pag lumuwang ang daanan ng dugo, periphery. Hindi sa uterine na, periphery. Pag lumuwang ang daanan ng dugo, kamusta ang pressure? Mataas o baba? Imagine a hose na malakas ang tubig pero maliit ang butas. Sumisirit po ba? Yes. Ganon din po rito. Pag maluwang ang daanan, hindi sisirit ang tubig. Or hindi sisirit ang dugo. Therefore, pressure is low, leading into hypotension. O, take note, body compensates. Lagi ko sinasabi sa inyo to. Lahat yata ng nadiscusan ko na, lagi ko sinisingit ko. Pag may hypotension, body will try to adapt, to compensate. One of the compensatory mechanism is the heart will pump for more blood. Kaya meron tayong tachycardia. Diyan tayo. Yes. Anong cause ng tachycardia? Because of your hypo. Are we clear? So, ano gagawin natin? Monitor BP every 15 minutes. Pag nagbibigay tayo ng oxytocin, ginagawa mo ba yan? Yes. Post-surgery or post-delivery, nag-monitor ka ba ng every 15 minutes? Then succeeding hour, every 30 minutes, then every hour. Kasi nga, paunti na ng paunti yung effect ng oxytocin. Nagigats niyo ba kung bakit yung ginagawa yun during labor and after labor? Yes, okay? Ano pa, sir? Ano pa? Ay, by the way, kapag may hypotension ha, management natin to. Management. Monitor BP, okay, every 15 minutes. Every 15 minutes. Ano pa? Monitor uterine contractions. So, paano natin monitor ang uterine contraction, sir? Depende kung nasa stage ka na ng labor. Nalala niyo yung kanina, pag latent phase, 30 to 45, tama po ba? 30 to 45 with 3 to 5 minutes interval. Contractions yon, seconds per contraction. Okay? Then, kapag naman po, contraction natin sa active phase, mas mahaba po ba? Yes, 40 to 60 seconds per contraction for 3 to 5 minutes interval. Okay? Pag mas mahaba na doon or mas maiksi, kailangan tinitake note mo yon. So, kailangan po ba nakapan dito? Naka-CTG? Yes, CTG. And you also need to monitor the FHR to monitor for signs of fetal distress. Monitor for signs of fetal distress. Number 3. Abot tayo dito. Decrease urine output. Decrease urine output. Pag sinabi naman natin decrease urine output due to anti-diuretic effect of oxytocin. Ibig sabihin pala, sir, pag nag-take ako ng oxytocin, mayroon akong anti-diuretic effect, hindi ako iihi. Yes. Ibig sabihin, meron kang urinary frequency or urinary retention. Ang pasyente nag-take ng oxytocin. Oxytocin has anti-diuretic effect. Anti-diuretic. Diuretic ihi. Anti-wag. Wag iihi. Therefore, ihi mo mababa. Oliguria or anuria kung wala kang ihi. Question. Ano meron tayo? Urinary frequency or urinary retention? So, meron tayong urinary retention. Naiipon ang tubig sa katawan. Tama ba? Yes. Dahil naiipon ang tubig sa katawan, it leads into water toxication. Intoxication. So, doon narinig nyo na ang water intoxication, na ang normal tubig na narinig natin sa isang araw is 6 to 8 glasses. If you go more than that, kasi hindi ka naman masyadong pinagpapawisan, wala ka namang source of dehydration, pwede kang magkaroon ng water intoxication. Ibig sabihin, dumami ang tubig ng katawan. Kung dumami ang tubig ng katawan, kamusta ang electrolytes or osmolarity? Tataas, bababa. Kaya kasi nag-video yung videos ko, di ba? Ng fluid electrolytes. Ayan, hindi nyo lang pinanood. Kasi nga may kinalaman na naman dito. Ulitin ko po. Water intoxication. Dumami or kumonti ang tubig ng katawan? Dumami. Dahil dumami ang tubig ng katawan, what will happen to the osmolarity of the blood? Increases or decreases? Nagkakaroon tayo na decrease osmolarity. Bakit? Because osmolarity is the concentration of solutes or electrolytes in the blood. Eh, dumami ang tubig kasi hindi nilalabas ng katawan. Ano mangyayari? Nadadilute. So, magkakaroon tayo ng hyponatremia, hypokalemia. Delikado ba mga bagay na ito? Yes, okay? Signs of toxicity. Okay? Signs of toxicity. Signs and symptoms of toxicity. Signs and symptoms of toxicity. Okay, i-check mo, baka meron siyang nausea and vomiting. Baka meron siyang nausea and vomiting. What else? Seizure. What else? Coma. Then, of course, i-monitor mo yung death. Okay? Pwede mag-link into death. Tama ba? Yes, this is due to interstitial shift of fluids. Due to interstitial shift of fluids. Due to interstitial shift of fluids. So, pwede tayo magkaroon ng fluid and electrolyte imbalance. In this case, meron tayong hypocondition due to water intoxication. Common symptoms ito, yung hyponatremia. Ibig sabihin, kukunti ang sodium ng dugo kasi lumabnaw ang dugo dahil sa dami ng tubig. Kaya yung shifting ng fluid, tumaas ang sodium sa interstitial space and other space. Yung fluid nag-move doon, papunta doon. Kung saan mataas ang sodium. Delikado po ba ito? Yes, it can cause or lead to death. Kaya nga yung monitor for nausea and vomiting. Ang nausea and vomiting is an initial symptoms for water intoxication when you are taking oxytocin. Clear tayo? Yes, okay, when you're taking oxytocin. So ano yung management natin dito? What is your management? What is your management? Monitor intake and output. Specifically, your urine output. Okay? And specific gravity. Specific gravity. So, kapag meron tayong water intoxication, ano mangyayari sa specific gravity? Urine specific gravity. Concentrated or less concentrated? Maging less concentrated. Okay? Then, limit amount of IV fluids to 150 ml per hour. 150 ml per hour. That's approximately how many liters or how many ml in 8-hour duty? In one shift. That's 150 times 8. Tama ba? So that's 50 times 8, that's 400. 50 times 8 is 400 plus 800, 1,200 ml lang. So meron tayo, meron tayo? Fluid restriction or fluid restriction or fluid ano tawag ito? Restriction or fluid, enforced fluid. Kailangan meron tayong fluid restriction. Kasi nga, sobrang na ng tubig ang kanyang katawan. Pwede ba itong pumunta sa ibang parts ng katawan? Yes. Pag nag-shift, napunta sa lungs, pwede magkaroon ng pulmonary edema. Dito tayo? Yes. Okay? So that is your management. Okay? Management. Another one, aside from decreased output, number 4, predispose. Predispose newborn to hyperbilirubinemia. What is hyperbilirubinemia? Increased concentration of bilirubin in the blood. Commonly caused by what? Hemolysis. What is hemolysis? Destruction of RBC. Pag tumaas ang bilirubin mo, ano yung objective sign na makikita mo sa pasyente? Ano ulit? Jaundice. Very good. Okay? Jaundice. So, pwede siya magkaroon ng jaundice. Are we clear? Hello? Are we clear? So, Those are the side effects of the oxytocin. So while giving oxytocin, you have to monitor that. Okay? Nalapit na po. So after nung induction, meron tayo number 3, augment. Na-explain ko na ang difference ng augmentation of labor by oxytocin. Na-explain ko na ang difference, isn't it? Pag sinabing induction, may labor na ba? Wala pa. Ikaw ang nag-start. Tama ba? Pag sinabing augmentation, may labor na ba? So, ibig sabihin, are you just going to give support to the labor process? Yes, okay? So, you're going to, okay, support labor process if it becomes weak. Okay? So, support labor process if it becomes weak, irregular. Next stop. Okay na. So, next. And the last one is, kapag may 4 cm na tayo, ano gagawin? Pag may 4 cm na, bilhin mo kami. Pag may 4 cm na, ano gagawin? Ang gawin natin? Amniotomy. 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 Clear tayo? Any questions? Clarifications? Alam niyo naman na amniotomy, tama mo ba? Yes, this is the artificial rupture of your membrane. Okay, so again, what are the side effects ng inyong oxytocin? What are the things na kailangan natin tandaan pag oxytocin? Number 1, kailangan po ba meron ng effacement? Yes, yung may cervical ripening. Pag cervical ripening, may 3 tayong procedure dyan. Yung method, number 1, stripping. Tama ba? Yes, stripping of membrane. Number 2, hygroscopic suppositories. Yung may use of seaweed. Babalutin mo ng gauze, ilalagay sa vagina, mag-absorb ng secretion, then it will gradually stimulate or the urge for dilatation. Ano naman yung pinaka-common na ginagamit natin for cervical ripening? Your prostaglandin, also known as misoprostol. Pwede ba tawagin na cytotec? Anong position niya pag nagbigay ka? Kasi ba pwede bang mag-leak? So kailangan sideline para hindi mag-leak or hindi magtapon yung damot. Nakakaintindihan? Yes. Pag meron na po, pag meron na pong cervical ripening, ready ka na for induction of labor. Induction of labor using oxytocin. Pag nagbibigay ng oxytocin, patataasin ba ang contraction? Pag tumaas ang contraction, should you monitor for hyperstimulation? Pwede mo magkaroon ng hypertonic contraction. Pag may hypertonic contraction, kailangan mo pababain. Kailangan mo i-relax yan. Pwede bang kontrolin ng oxytocin? Pwede bang magkaroon ng complication yan? Pag sa bata, pwede bang magkaroon ng fetal distress? Pwede bang leading to fetal death? Pwede bang mag-rupture si uterus? Are you sure? Augmentation. Pag sinabing augmentation, kailangan mo ba nag-labor na? Parehas mo ba ng effect niya sa induction? Yes, parehas. Iba lang yung time kung kailan ka mag-start. Are we clear? Yes. Ano yung mga side effect natin? Hypotension, meron ba? Yes. Bakit may hypotension? Meron ba tayong peripheral vasodilation? So, ibig sabihin, nulo ang daanan ng dugo, bababa ang pressure. Tama mo ba? Pag bumaba ang pressure, hypotension. Pag may hypotension, mag-compensate ang katawan. The heart will pump more blood. Tachycardia. Compensatory ba yun? Yes. Para i-manage siya, ano gagawin natin? Monitor blood pressure din. Ano ulit? Uterine contraction, i-monitor mo. Tama ba? Yes. And of course, kung kailangan i-adjust ang oxytocin, i-adjust mo. Are we clear? Nausea and vomiting. Sign na ba yun ng toxicity? Yes. Ang ating oxytocin, meron ba siyang antidiuretic effect? Yes. Ang tubig, lalabas ng katawan, may iwan. Attention or frequency? Attention. So, ano mangyayari sa solute? Diluted or concentrated? Diluted, concentrated. Diluted. Anong tawag sa condition na yon? Water intoxication. Are you clear? Ano na yung initial signs ng toxicity? Nausea and neurologic signs is seizure. Tama ba? And other signs includes? Ano ulit? Are you admitted to death? Yes. magbigay ng oxytocin prior delivery? No. As much as possible? No. Because of this possible side effects. Unless there is a necessity to augment or induce the labor. Are we clear? Kailan binibigay yung oxytocin naturally? After placenta. In what stage of labor? Third stage. Are we clear? After baby out, not placenta out. Because ang stage 3 starts when the baby is out. Are we clear? Any question? Clarification? Wala. Okay? Tomorrow,